I'm not talking about your mother. I'm not talking about your father. I'm not talking about your brother, your sister, your best friend, your cousin, your teacher. I'm talking about your vision. How do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself? How would you like others to see yourself? What are you passionate about? Those are things that I'm talking about when I'm saying vision. A lot of times we hear the word vision when it comes to success, but it's never defined. And it's never explained. At least to the individuals that grew up in my area. They always say, oh, you gotta have vision, young boy. What does that mean? Because you gotta understand, in school, these aren't the things that they're teaching you about. When they're talking about vision, it's almost being an entrepreneur without necessarily saying it. You having your own perspective of something, your own perspective of yourself versus what someone else wants you to be, versus what someone else wants you to do. It took me a while to understand that. It's like the school systems, right? What is it? You go to pre-K, kindergarten, elementary, junior high, high school, college, and maybe get your master's degree. Right? Not everyone has that vision, though. There are a lot of successful people that skip some of those steps. But you want to know why? It's because they had vision. You don't become successful and skipping some of those steps, education, without having a vision. Does that make sense? To have vision is one thing, but the next thing that you want to do off of that vision is educate yourself on that vision and how you're going to get there, and understanding that it's going to be a process. You always hear everyone say, trust the process. Trust the process. Trust the process. Because yes, it is a process. Every billionaire in the world, unless it was inherited, did not wake up a billionaire. I promise you, it started with a vision. Then it started with educating themselves on that vision. And then they put it into action. And then the last part was them trusting the process. You know, a lot of times we make a lot of things complicated. When in reality, we have to understand that our mind is like a garden. And let me explain to you. I read this in a book. Our mind is like a garden. A garden that needs to be maintained. And if you have a green thumb, you understand what I'm saying. Having a garden takes a lot of work. You gotta water it. Not only that, you gotta understand making sure that the soil is very rich. You gotta know what to plant, where to plant it, how much sunlight to give it, how much shade to give it. Right? Not only that, in a garden, you have other variables there too. Right? Sometimes in a garden, you have what? You have snakes. You have rabbits. Right? You might have your dog. Right? You might have overwatered your garden. Right? You may not have enough sun for your garden. Right? listen to this. You might also have weeds in your garden, which you have to pick, right? So there's a lot going on there, just like there's a lot going on in your mind. But if you have a vision, right? And if you understand what is in your garden, what is in your head, what is in your mind, you can overcome those things. The same way that I'm picking weeds from my garden. I'm not letting them stay there and grow and blossom like I'm letting my flowers blossom. Right? So that's the way that we have to think. Sometimes we overcomplicate things because we have a lot in our head, in our garden, and it's overwhelming. When in reality, what we should focus on is getting rid of those thoughts that don't mean much, that don't mean anything, and focusing on nourishing and growing those flowers, growing those vegetables, growing those peppers, growing those different things that we have in our garden, so that we can have a beautiful garden, because that was our vision in the end. Or maybe our vision was to provide vegetables and food for our family in our garden, right? Whatever the vision might have been, that's what we have to hone on to, maintaining our garden. So I'll bring you back to your vision. What is that one vision in your head that you say, this is what I want to be, this is who I want to be, this is how I want